bit of a relaxing afternoon. Now I have no idea if you can hear me. I've ventured a little further afield to, excuse me, I'm trying not to fall over, Scaleber Force, or Scaleber Force, I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it. It is lovely. You've got a row of waterfalls, or a tier of waterfalls. It's a lot quieter than I thought it might be. I know it's been a really dry summer. It's not the easiest of places to get, not so much a composition, although that isn't easy, the exposure. We've got a canopy of trees and the sun, as you can see, is coming up straight onto me, which is illuminating this waterfall here, which when you're trying to shoot it is really annoying. I wanted a head-on shot. Let me just take you back here. And you have to be really careful because some of the rocks are still wet and very slippy. So, just in front, there's a little rock there that's got some leaves on it, and then a little further in, there's another one. I can't see a thing. And I fancied that shot with the water coming over. I ended up using the polarizer to take the glare off the water, an ND grad 0.6, and then I used reverse grad because although you're not really going to be able to tell, yeah, where the waterfall is, the rocks either side are actually quite dark. So by putting the reverse grad on upside down, it allowed me to expose for the greenery and still get some movement in the waterfall without blowing the fall itself out. I've been up and, oh, where you go? Up and down and round down here. So, slightly different composition here, and autumn is on its way. As I was driving along, the trees are just starting to turn. So I'm just going to flip the camera around to see if I can show you this composition. But essentially, this rock edge has got some gorgeous autumnal leaves on it, and then we have the waterfall, and we have a couple of little swirls going on down here. So what I ended up with was that, which kind of looks a bit blown out on the screen, but it actually works quite well. I took a few, just varying the composition, and that one I think is my favourite. I've got a proper swirl going on there, I've got a swirl going on here. The fall itself isn't blown out. I've got some, oh, there we go, some decent detail in the leaves here, and a bit of greenery detail as well. But it's a really hard exposure to make. Now I'm trying to stand with my back towards the falls in the vain hope that you can actually hear me. You can see the rest of the falls. I think it's a 40-metre fall, the big one that you can see up here. I don't think I can get to that, although I'm going to have a go. But certainly the next level up, I'm going to have a shot at that. The image that I did here, I was shooting at, f/16 and 5 seconds. As I say, I had the polarizer on, I had the reverse grad upside down, and I had I put the reverse grad on the right way up, and I had a 0.6 hard edge the wrong way up. And it kind of worked. That's probably a really convoluted way of getting the effect I wanted, but it worked for me. So, but as autumn definitely seems to be on the way, fancy finding some leaves and getting some swirls. Don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm going to hop back up here and have a go at some images up there. So there's been a waterfall image that I've been after for some considerable time, and it comes back to comments that have been left on previous waterfall vlogs about turning the images into a mono image. And personally, I always find it a shame with the images that I've taken to turn them into mono, because you have all the vibrant greens that you get in the darker, damp areas around waterfalls. Beautiful greens, the golds, the reds of the leaves that have fallen. I've never quite seen the appeal with turning that type of image into mono, although I understand it should work because of the contrasts that you get. But the top layer of this waterfall offered the opportunity to get the image that I'd had in my mind for some time. So I followed Dan up to the top ledge. He very kindly helped me up. And I found a couple of 3 compositions that seemed to work really well. And the beauty of shooting up there is you could frame the waterfall so that you didn't get any of the mosses or the leaves or the grass that was growing in the area around it. You purely had the water cascading down over the rocks, and you had the rock face. I tried it on the LCD of the camera to show it in mono, and it worked. When I got it home onto the PC, I tweaked it slightly in Photoshop. I dropped the highlights slightly, and I boosted the shadows because I wanted a really dark background. Light enough that you could see the textures of the rock slightly, but it didn't jump out. The main focus of the image is the silky water that the 10-stop filter gives you. And I am so pleased with this image. As I say, it's been on my mind for a good couple of 3 years. And this is the first location I found that I felt really happy turning a waterfall image into mono. So I hope you like it.